Wants to do the intro?
You do.
I do it? Okay.
You always do. Oh, wait, I guess I'll start recording. Okay. I mean, whenever.
You ready? Con, are you ready?
Sure.
That's weird. The more I raise Austin, the lower he seems to go.
Oh, would you get over the audio?
Why you gotta bully me? Everyone, remember this day. That's how I get it.
Double,
That's how they treat me.
put it on him. Yep. Like we slapping his hands.
Internet
All
police will be
right.
coming soon.
This is SWAT team. All right. So everybody set then?
Yep.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome to this podcast. Of course, your handsome host Jed here with Austin
Hey, I'm Austin.
and Con.
I'm handsome too.
It's also not called this podcast, by the way. It's called Last Week's Special Podcast.
I abbreviated it.
Okay.
There you go. So what's new, everybody? What's everybody up to?
So much.
Not
Not
much.
Not much.
Not much.
Not much. Well, then I'm going to just get this started telling you about what all much is happening on this end. All right. So I had a incredible blessing. A fan had gifted me a whole bunch of awesome PC hardware, and I had received it all in the mail, just kind of trickling packages will come in one at a time. I'm all happy, I'm clapping like a little penguin. I am so thrilled to get it all together, right?
Wank wank.
Yes, wah wah. So here's where things got fun. I was going to use my existing power supply because it's a 750. Like that's plenty power. I don't need anything more. The problem is that this power supply, it's maybe 8 years old. It could be a little older. And during that time, the trend was that power supplies were on the top of the case, where like all your cases now, the power supplies are on the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah, yeah.
So the cable that stretches to power the CPU, like that additional little cable it needs on the left side of the motherboard, I looked like Doc Brown in Back to the Future, where I got one end of the cable and I'm on the time clock, and I'm trying to get the pieces to connect so the DeLorean can go back in time, and it won't fit. So this cable was too short. And I'm like, well, that's a pooper. And then I get looking at the graphics card, the cable I have for that generation, I guess, of power supplies that used 4 pins, where these new graphics cards have 6. I'm like, my second pooper of the evening.
Yeah.
So, in
Sounds about
order to
right.
get the computer to even boot, I had to put the power supply on top of the case, just sitting outside, and then it fed into the case through the side like a monster. And I was finally able to get started on there. But then I found a different little situation. I couldn't get it to start up with 2 sticks of RAM. So it would only start up with 1 stick. So I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
to
don't
my
get this.
yeah,
Go ahead,
this
go ahead.
is this is an interesting one. So I look at my manual, and my manual says, okay, if you got 2 sticks of RAM, you need to put it in slot 2 and 4. Like, okay. So you put it in slot 2 and 4, turn it on, a little orange light, or it's a yellow light, a little yellow light, stays solid. I'm like, and it won't boot up, it won't post. I'm like, what's this? So I look at my manual, it says it's a RAM issue. Like, oh, okay. So I'm looking at the picture, I'm like, well, let me try putting it in slot 1 and 3, just for giggles. Put them both in that one, nothing. I'm like, well, what if I want to run just 1 stick? So I look in the manual, it's like, if you want to run 1 stick, you need to put it in slot 4.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, okay. I put it in slot 4, still won't boot up. I'm like, alright, now I'm just going to try everything. I put it in slot 3 and it boots up. Like, right, just no problems. And I'm looking at the manual like there's not even an option for a slot 3 one stick. It shouldn't work according to the booklet. It does. So I get that all up and running, and I realize, well, I can't use the graphics card this way at all. So I'm like, I'm gonna need a new power supply. And maybe if I get a new power supply, the RAM issue might fix itself too. Like maybe I'm just not doing enough voltage or something for it. Like I've seen weirder fixes. So order a new one. Comes in, getting all excited, and so now like finally I can do the build properly. So I'm taking my time. I'm running the cables in behind the case, making it look all sexy. I'm being real happy about it. Plug it all back in and turn it on with the one stick with one stick. And it works just fine. I'm like, oh, this is great. Well, here's what I'll do. It's really late because I had just assembled it. Like, it's really late. I'll let it download tonight, just download stuff. And then I'll come back to it in the morning and we'll figure out the RAM thing in the morning. It was like, good plan, me. Thank you. So I went to bed, came back. It's morning now. I'm like, well, you know what? Some of these games are done. I'm really excited to see how this card performs. So what I'll do is I'll just take a moment for myself and I'll play something. So I start up Fortnite and I'm like, oh, looking forward to this. I'm like, oh, wait. I can't play it with desktop speakers. I need to be able to hear the little pitty-patty feets of the people I'm going to shoot. So I reach behind the case. I take my USB headset, plug it into the USB port on the motherboard, and then when I sit back down, my screen's black. I'm like, did I hit the power button? And I'm looking, and the whole case is just saying, like, I'm going to shut down now. Good night. I'm like, well, I must have. What else could it have? I don't think, how could I? But what else could it be? So I just start pressing the button. Click. Nothing. Click. Nothing. Click. Nothing. So apparently plugging in my USB headset shut it down. It shorted it somehow. So I open it up, unhook everything, and nothing. There's this little orange light. It's called the standby LED. When you have power running on the motherboard, like even if it's asleep, this light will illuminate, let you know that it's powered. It's just waiting to be turned on. I'm getting nothing. It's just pulsing. I'm like, well, this is not going to be good. So I'm a little distraught. I decide, well, let's call technical support. So I call up ASUS. I get a hold of somebody, someone really far away in a very noisy room with terrible call quality, and I explain him what my motherboard is, and he's like, have you tried a different power supply? And I go, well, I have one right here. You want me to try it? Yeah. I'm like, of course, this is what it's going to be. It's going to like, do you have a whole second computer you could just disassemble and try on this? And that's pretty much what it ended up being. So I tried my second power supply, nothing. Same thing. Well, in fact, I think it's even a little worse off. It wasn't even giving me some of the lights. So tell me no. He's like, well, can you take it out of the case and put it on a workbench and try it? Sure, that doesn't sound hard at all. And keep in mind, I got a liquid cooler and everything in here.
Yeah.
So like, it's not just like, oh here, let me just open a couple of doorknobs and oh look, it came right out. You're like, no, there's some work. And so I'm doing this on the speakerphone. And he's like, are you still there? I'm like, I'm still here. I'm just give me a minute. Finally, I get it on the desk. And I'm underneath my desk hooking up the power and everything. I'm like, okay, it's finally out. Do you want me to try turning it on now? It's like, yeah. He's like, I try turning it on. I'm like, okay, it's still not turning on. Like, I don't know what he was expecting. Like, if I maybe shook the motherboard enough, the evil pixie would come out of it or something. But he's like, what processor do you have in that? And so I tell him, and he's like, oh, that processor isn't compatible with that board.
What?
And I'm thinking exactly that.
Well,
What?
that's actually. Oh man. Yeah, when the 8700K came out, there were a lot of processors that were in the same line, but they wouldn't support it. That's probably what happened, right?
I don't know because it booted Windows all day yesterday.
Yeah, that is weird, huh?
No problem. BIOS understood it, everything. It gave me no problems, no hiccups, nothing. And I even installed like all the motherboard updates, the BIOS updates, everything. No issues. So I read him off the model. He's like, "Oh, it's not compatible with this motherboard." He's like, "So you'll need to get a different processor or a different motherboard."
Mm.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks." He's like, "You're welcome." Click. It's like, "Oh." So then I tell this to Khan. Khan's like, "I don't sound right at all." So he gets digging around, and I get digging around, and sure enough, in the compatibility list for this motherboard, they specifically list my CPU, saying it does work. It's the only one in that line that works. So I'm like, well, this is bull crap.
What kind of a support guy was that? Good
I
lord.
know.
Useless one.
So I call him back, you know, and I get a different guy, but same situation. I can barely understand, poor quality, or very loud on there, and etc. Tell him what happened, and he's like, "Oh, I see you have an existing ticket." Then they said the CPU wasn't compatible. They're like, "Funny thing there, Benjamin." You know, they always give me really cool names. You know, we went looking, and my processor is on the compatibility list. He's like, 1 second, and he's
He
clicking
has to
around.
look
He's
it
like,
up. That's the part I don't
it's
get.
like, yes, I see it is. Okay, so what have you tried? Like, we've tried a separate, power supply. We've tried taking the little battery off the motherboard so it resets its settings. We've tried taking it out of the case. We've tried jumping it. He's like, and it's still not turning on? I'm like,
Tried
nope.
singing to it.
It sounds like it's a faulty motherboard. We can RMA it. I go, yes, let's do that.
That's
So we get the RMA process done, and I'm like, man, if I'm lucky, I could send this out today. And I look at the clock, and I'm like, well, crap, it's 11 o'clock, and the post office is going to close at midnight, or close at noon. So I got 45 minutes to do this, which doesn't sound like it'd take a lot of time, but as my luck would have it, the one computer I would print on was my old computer, and it's all in pieces. So I'm like, well, I could try using my tablet. And of course, my tablet, I plug my tablet into my printer, and it's just like hands in the air. Like, I don't know what to do with this. So I'm like, ah. So then I go find Catherine's old laptop. It used to be my old MacBook. I find it, plug it in, and then of course it's all like, no problem, dude. And I'm like, oh wait, I gotta send her the email now. So I send her the email, log in under her, print it, just so I can print out a form that says, did you try this? Yes. Did it work? No. Okay. Send it in, please. And then I include that into the package, and I drive 65 miles an hour in a school zone, get to the post office. I walk in. They are literally turning off the lights inside. I walk in. I'm like, I got a package to send. Like, good, because I was just about to leave. So I put it down. I pay my fee. It's gone. It's going to be there on Monday, and hopefully it'll be coming back by the weekend or like early next week, because they say 10 days. It's going to take them 10 days to fix it.
or June, whichever comes first.
Whatever, yes. And then I get it back, and then we're going to find out.
No, it really sounded like the board was screwy from day one.
What I want to know is, why does every piece of tech you own break? Like,
It's
always?
a good question. I mean, I baby
Ever since I
everything.
have known you. Do you
Yeah.
remember your first PC you built?
Yes, I do.
You went through how many graphics cards?
At least 3.
I remember you
Thinking-
got brand new. Keep in mind, you got it. Starts it up. Graphics cards busted. Like, it just, everything's artifacting.
Yeah.
He has no idea because he's never really messed with a computer before. So he's like asking people in forums and whatnot, and they're telling him, no, that graphics card's broke. So you need to send it back, get a new one. He sends it back. They send him back another one. Or maybe they attempted to repair it or something. I don't know how it went. because it was broken again. He sends it back. They send it back. It's broken again. This happened like 2 or 3 times. I specifically remember that happening.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have lost it.
I mean, that was back when Battlefield 2 had just came out.
Yeah.
And I was hyped. I'm like, man, I want to play this. I really. So then you get that graphics card, everything's loading up, seems like it's being fine. I get into the level, all the sand is a neon green.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a really odd choice for EA to go with. I don't know why they would pick neon green. That's a terrible color choice. And then I guess to me, I was trying to make sense of what I was seeing. And then I would see, I played a demo of Fear when that
Yeah, Fear.
game
I
came out.
remember that because it had a free multiplayer. I remember us playing that. Yeah.
And all the shadows were like really artifacting, real weird. Like they were making their own sock puppets, and I'm thinking like, man, this game's weird. They're like these shadows are maybe it's the style that they were going with. And then no, it wasn't until later, getting on the forums, etc. Everyone's like, your graphics card's busted. And then I think after about the second exchange, I just did a refund
Yeah.
and went with a
Yeah.
different card. Something that I had to go with a lower end model just to get something that worked. Yes. And I'll tell you, that motherboard busted too because it had a short in it as well. I remember because I tried to plug my MP3 player into it. I plugged plugged it in right from one of the
Oh, I
case
remember.
USB
Yeah.
ports, and then it shut down.
I remember that. Didn't you like plug your Mac into something and it fried it or something as well?
Yeah, there was a transfer cable for, well, just computers in general. Like, you just plug this in and then you plug that into the other computer and then boot up the software and you can transfer large files from the Mac or laptop to a different computer. That's what I did. I plugged it into the front USB port and just shut the whole thing down. And then it wouldn't turn on after that. So I got a little bit of that deja vu when I was plugging in my headset. I'm like, I've been down this road.
Few times.
Yeah, just sit down. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's really not fun. Which is why
No.
I had the store put mine together when I ordered all the parts. I'm just, there's no time. I mean, when you're working now, you just don't have the time to start troubleshooting. So it's like, no, I'm not doing
No,
this.
that's the downer.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't working, maybe I could have had it all figured out one day, and the parts sent off a couple of days ago. But you work and you come home, you're tired. You're tired. You're just like, I did 11 hours today, and now the computer won't start. This is a problem for future gen.
It's been like 4 or 5 days because of the limited time, and it's like nothing, zero progress. I just wasted a week.
There's got to be a reason, but I want to know what the reason is. Just using like the USB ports on your case would cause a problem like that. Because when I was Googling around, that seems to happen more often than I would like to think.
Yeah, well, that's why he
Like,
got you to take it out of the case in case there was a short with when you put the motherboard in, because that's what would happen if you use the USBs because of the shorting.
It's just odd. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an engineer. I'm just trying to figure out why would that happen. It's plugged into the motherboard. It should be just as grounded. I just don't get it. But like, don't you say you can't use the USB ports on your case, Austin?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I whenever I had started up, I got this weird message. Can't remember what it said. My BIOS just gave me a message, and I Googled it, and it said that it's a power issue with USB or something. So I just unplugged my front USB ports, and it boots now. So I can't use my front USB ports, but whatever. Everything else is fine.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I just got a hub and just sat it on top of my case.
Yeah, I unplugged those even on the motherboard. I still couldn't get it to start up. So I think something was wrong with that board.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know, but it's like I summarize it all up in 10 minutes, but this was days worth of
Yeah.
and hours and hours and hours.
The good thing is everything else seems to work fine.
Yeah, everything else was working no problem.
Hmm.
You don't wear slippers when you equip your or when you're building the PC, do you?
Well, I mean, sometimes slippers, I'll keep like one of those electric ball orbs, you can touch
Yeah.
and it can make your hair. I keep one of those nearby just for effect.
Every now and then, one hand on it.
Hey, this is cool. Like, look, I can power it on. I don't know, like the whole time I was building, never had any static, never once did anything ever shock on my hands. And like I said, that one day it booted up fine. Just like for at least 17 hours, it was just running Windows and downloading.
If something's going to break, it will be in the first couple weeks.
I guess. And then I'm like, hey, it would be great to hear stuff. Let me plug in my head.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's what's been happening on my end. And then to top it all off, when I'm on my way to the post office so I can mail this beast, which, by the way, when you have to mail something into a SUS, they want you to call it in and let them know the tracking number of your package.
Yeah.
Like, I can kind of understand, but like, it's required. If they get that package and you did not call in advance to give the tracking number, they can cancel the RMA. I'm like, but it's already there. But all right.
You think it'd be done
But
through the website, wouldn't you?
you'd think so. But the instructions said to call. So I called. And on my way there, my check engine light comes on. I'm like, well, this is cool. So then, after I drop my package off, I take it over to AutoZone, and they have this little handheld computer, and all they do is just plug it into the computer that's built in people's cars, so that when their check engine light comes on, they can say like, "Oh, this was the code." Like, "Oh, okay, here's the problem. You need a new, spark plug for this or something like that." His couldn't find my car. It wouldn't do it automatically,
Of course.
and it wouldn't do it manually. He's just standing there with me. He's like, I've not seen this. It won't find your car. I'm like, oh, I can do it. I just touch it. I'm like, this is my car right here. He's like, no, on the computer. I'm like, oh. Then I take the computer and I smash it up against my door. Here's the car, computer. So now I don't know what's wrong with the car either. I have to make an appointment with a mechanic. I think ASUS just, they weren't wanting me to be happy.
Yeah, I've always had issues with ASUS in the past. They're like my most hated computer
I actually have
company.
never had issues with the ASUS so far. I think my mobile's an ASUS. I think. Pretty sure.
It's always just something.
They make good
So,
monitors, that's for dang sure.
That's
oh
true.
man, they make good monitors. I like their phones too. I had one of their prepaid.
Oh yeah.
Or well, not prepaid. It was one of their unlocked. Bring your own phone
Right.
style phones. It was good. Then after about 13 months, it took a crap. So
Cool.
now my look is it was like just old enough. So once the 1 year expired on my warranty, it's all like, oh, what can you do? Like, we can fix it, but the cost was as much as the phone,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous.
I bricked my phone once, but there's a local place nearby and they fixed it for like $30.
Oh man.
It's like
Yeah.
my phone's like, hey, a new update's available, official from AT&T. I'm like, all right, I'll update it. Bricks my phone. So I go into the flipping phone stop place and I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And it's like, what? It said update available, and I said, okay. I shouldn't have done that.
How many times do you ever hear that? I mean, sometimes when you get, like, all right, when I got my Asus, my Zen phone is what it was called. It's even in the instruction booklet. It's like, it's, sign in, and then make sure to apply all updates when prompt.
Mm,
I'm like,
mm.
okay, and then you get told, oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, don't apply the updates. 10.4. I understand now. Like, how annoying is that every day? You tell it, no, I don't want to update. No, I don't want to update, because it will bug you.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
like
I
that with
know,
mine.
and it's a never ending too. It's like, hey, hey,
Mm-mm.
hey, hey, and it's
Hey,
just like,
hey.
fine, update.
And they're like, just kidding, LOL, brick.
Yeah.
Night, night time. Little jerks.
Yep.
So, to do this podcast, I reassembled my old computer.
Oh, I can't even fathom that, dude. It's so stressful for me building computers. I could not do that.
I've stopped.
I like it, but I'm not liking it right now. Like, when I done Cody's, we didn't have any problems, and I was just thinking, oh, this is gonna. I mean, like, what's the odds of having problems? And I should have just shut up right there, because now here I am. But I pray, because I really don't want to have to send, like, get the motherboard back and then find out like it's the power supply or something like that. But if there's any good that's coming from this, you know how the motherboards will come with this plate that you stick on the back of the case, so it gives a nice clean look when you install the motherboard. All the ports are in these nice fitted holes.
Hmm.
You guys know what I'm talking? Oh, I forgot to install mine when
Yeah,
I
I
put the.
I forget to install that every single time I build a PC. I didn't put
Yes.
it on this one either, and I'm like, oh, I better try it, and I like cut my finger doing it. I'm like, you know what?
Oh
Screw
yeah.
it. I don't
Nope.
freaking
Nope.
care.
Yeah. Don't do that. They are not finger friendly. So I was looking at it. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just have to live with it. But in my head, I'll always know it's not there. Well, now when I took it out, I just went ahead and stuck it on. So I'm like, there. When the motherboard comes back, you're going right into place. That's the only positive to my negative story. So, alright, now one of you guys, I set you up. Now one of you can talk.
What are your specs though? Because you know people will ask what they are.
Oh, alright. It's let's see, we'll start the processor. i7, 3.7 gigahertz.
It's
It is
8700K. That's all you
yeah,
need to say.
8700K. Okay, my apologies. 8700K. Which
Google it if you don't
ASUS
know what that is.
is apparently convinced that it's not
Not
compatible with,
compatible.
with the motherboard that advertises 87K
By the way, I want to point out
on its board.
we all have the same CPU now.
Mm.
Yay! We CPU buddies.
Also, you got the same graphics card as me too.
Also, yay! Got the GTX 1070,
Yeah.
and that was the one my old power supply wouldn't power.
Yeah, you need an adapter for those new ones.
So I'm like, well, poop. Thankfully this one just came with the cable right away, so that was a plus. Uh, Power supply is 7050, so I mean, nothing. It's just newer. And then RAM, 16 gigs. Going with that for my boot drive. Went with an M2.
Oh, you got an M2.
Yeah, this board actually supports two of those sticks. And
Oh.
went with an M2. Really nice. Really, really
Oh, I'll
nice.
bet. I've heard they're amazing.
Like once you get past that BIOS splash screen, you're in Windows.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to deal with those little like loading windows for you. Like nope, it's done. And then
How
like
big is it?
512.
Yeah, just so for your OS, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much like that. And you can put like if you wanted like a
Really
very
fast game.
specific game or
Yeah.
something, yeah, that you're playing at that moment, you could put on there. Yeah, got a Corsair, liquid cooler.
How is that, by the way? How's installation of that? Because I've been
Easy,
interested in those.
easy.
Yeah. Man, you could
Oh,
overclock your CPU so well now then if
Mm.
you have a freaking liquid cooler.
Well, that's a future
I-
thing you do.
I heard the 8700Ks can OC to like through like 4.7 or some crap like that, but they get really hot, so you
Yeah.
need like
yeah.
really good cooling for them.
I wouldn't do that. No, like the
Yeah, that's
motherboard
for the
supports that
future.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No need.
but
You won't need to overclock that for anything.
the water cooler, though, that sucker's easy. Like you don't have to put the tubes together, nothing. It
Yeah, it's
comes
all
all
assembled.
pre-assembled,
Yeah, yeah.
right? As long as your case has got a nice place to attach that radiator,
Right.
then all you got to do is put the special bracket on the back of the motherboard, and then the heatsink just attaches to that bracket.
Right.
Screws in just like the standard old school fan heat sinks, and that's it. You know, other than plugging in the fans, of course. And
Yeah.
once you're done with that, it's easy. I thought it was going to be a little harder, but nah, it's like 4 steps.
Cool. Yeah, I thought it would be a little difficult too. I've never done it, so.
The only time it really sucked is when I had to take it out so I could put it on my
Yeah.
desk, just so Seuss could be like, I bet you it's that CPU. Like,
The one that's only supported.
Yeah.
like our motherboard says it supports. And he told me I needed the 7700.
I
Like,
bet
that's
you
what
he didn't realize it was a 370 chipset. That's why he was talking like that. Because there's more than
Maybe.
one Strix model.
I was probably his first caller. He sounded groggy. So
He's probably been at it for 27 hours.
it's like, this is my 3rd shift. I don't want to be on there.
But I
I'll
need
just
to earn
whatever
that
it takes to get
$2.
this guy off the phone.
Yeah, it's broken. Goodbye. Click.
Yeah, your fault. See ya.
Feel free to call back. We will help you again.
I don't.
It was
trying to
funny.
think
Every
if
time
there's-
he got the parts in, it was always like, this isn't gonna fit, and then next one, this isn't gonna work. Why this? So we'd have to send him extra parts for his parts.
Oh,
The worst part
one
is
day.
after he told me what parts he was getting, it didn't click in my head that what he had currently wouldn't work with those, and only after did I finally realize, like, crap, could have ordered this a week ago.
No, I'm incredibly thankful for what I did get. I don't care if it even takes a little extra time to get all
Yeah,
set
for
up.
sure.
Yeah, it's all the reward in the end. So I'll just power through it. But it does kind of suck when you're really anticipating, you're looking forward to it, and you're like, then something unforeseeable happens, and you're like, well, next week's gonna be the time. But it's still gonna be good. And I think it's pretty much all the parts. Like, I mean, there ain't much that make up computers, so once you get past the CPU, RAM, and graphics card, those are the big winners there. But I'll tell you this, installing hard drives has become so stupid easy now.
Yeah. For the
Man.
SSDs especially.
Oh man, this one, it has like you install the SSD drives on the back of the motherboard tray. So like they're
by-
not even in.
You mean the right side of the case on the inside?
Well, like alright, so like the back wall, that's the motherboard tray, alright? So you screw the motherboard down on that end. Now if you look behind that, there are slots for the SSD drives to go. So when you would see the glass on the case, you look in, you wouldn't see the hard drives because they're installed behind that motherboard tray out of sight. So it just gives everything a super clean look. Like, and that's cool for SSD drives, and then the trays themselves for like the standard 355-inch hard drives.
Right.
On my old case, you'd have to unscrew this chassis, and then you'd have to unscrew this box that they all sit in. Then you put the drives in, and then you screw the drives into the box, and then that box goes back into the chassis, which then goes back into the case. Now I'm just pulling out this little dinky plastic tray, and it has like these little nubs, and it holds my hard drive, and then it's like, whee, and I push it back in, and then I just connect cables. It's stupid easy.
Yeah, the
It should've
case is
been-
awesome.
Oh, should have been like that from the beginning. Just simple things. Oh no. So yes, when it comes back, I think the first thing I'm going to do is hook it all up, and I'm going to try the headset
Yeah.
immediately. And if it fails again, I'm like, mm-hmm. I'm like, well, this is what we're doing. Oh. All right. What about you guys? What's going on?
Yeah, Colin, what's going on?
Um, recently at least, I just started catching up on a whole bunch of movies, and like yesterday, I went to the cinema and finally saw Black Panther.
Oh, how'd you like?
It's all right.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's not bad.
special.
Yeah, neither actually.
No, it was okay. I mean, it's not crap. It's not awesome. At least not to me. I thought it was fairly
Hmm.
kind of
I think
generic.
the only special thing about it was the villain was actually interesting, and that
The
was pretty
villain
much
was
it.
alright, but to be fair, there's not really that much to him.
But in comparison to most Marvel villains, are like just generic,
I think the
generic villains.
last Marvel villain was oh no, last one was Thor. Hela was awesome, and the previous
Yeah,
one
but
was
she just shows up and she's like, "I'm evil," and it's like, why? And it's like,
Yeah.
because, and it's like, well, come on. At least this dude had a reason to be evil. I think that is the only good part about that movie. I think because the villain had actual depth to him than most like generic,
Mm.
villain number 1155 Marvel villain.
Well, I mean, they did screw her backstory because that's not actually it. But
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
yeah, it's completely because I love Hela, and when I watched the movie, I was like, wait, this doesn't sound right.
Mm.
Oh well, fucking do what you want. I don't care anymore. But the previous one, Vulture, he was awesome. That's
Yeah,
a
Vulture
proper
actually,
villain.
Vulture was dang good villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I watch things, I kind of compare them to the good villains, and if they don't even come close, it's like, well, you're a waste of time, and that's what I thought of him, because it was a whole, revenge type thing. But revenge is fine and all, but the rest that he had. By the way, Jed hasn't watched it yet, so I don't want to say too much.
Right.
I mean, we all know it's going to be revenge because that's every fucking villain they've got.
That's
Right.
trope 101.
Yeah. So, but his whole reason for it was fine. But what he did after was, what he planned to do onwards, stupid. It doesn't. I was like,
Yeah, yeah, I agree. His motive, his like plan
Yeah.
wasn't that good
So,
either.
and the whole part, just there were too many bits in the movie that kind of bugged me, and so I was like, okay, whatever.
That's how most Marvel movies are like that for me anymore.
Mm.
I don't know. Like Thor really bothered me. Like really bothered me.
Like which one?
The new one.
I did,
It's
Ragnarok?
like, it was too comedic
Yeah,
for the
it's-
theme of the movie.
that's the part that made me rage because when you see Ragnarok, I was looking forward to it because in the
Yeah.
comics, everybody dies.
It's based around the destruction of his civilization, and it's like a comedy.
Yeah.
It's like that is the wrong type of movie for that. You're going for there.
Mm. Everyone loves it because it was a comedy, and
Yeah.
that's what's working with Marvel. So they're making all their movies comedy. So I just
Like I
wanted
don't mind like a joke to
Well,
lighten
yeah.
up.
There's some alleviation jokes that are always
Mm.
nice, but the whole thing's just straight up. Just
Yeah, they do. They did it like every
Seinfeld episode.
10 or
Yeah.
18 minutes was one.
It had a lot of good parts, though. I mean, a lot of
It
good
did
parts.
have good parts. It really did.
I love that they
It
actually
really did.
showed Thor, what he can do. Where it was all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
movies, he was kind of. Every time I'd see, Stark start hassling him in the movies, I'm like, you'd be dead in like 10 seconds, less. And every time he fought Hulk, I'm like, whatever's, fuck off. I got friends who are Hulk fans.
Every-
and-
Well,
So
it
it's
is
like the-
cool how that he does stand toe to toe to Hulk.
He
Like that's
can
pretty freaking
smash-
awesome.
There was a comic many years. I think it was in the 80s. I don't know. They were both smashing each other, doing real well, and then Thor just drops his hammer and he's like, okay, and Hulk sort of looks at him and he goes, no, and that was the end of the fight. 'Cause he pretty much just said gloves are off. I don't
Sorry,
need a
Con,
hammer.
that's not canon anymore.
Yeah, they've changed so much over the years. It's bullshit, but
Well, I don't think most comic fans consider the movies to be canon. They're
Oh,
just like
no.
retellings of the comics
They
just
do.
in a casualized way.
I've got a friend that
I
does,
mean,
and
Disney recanon Star Wars.
Well, I was gonna say I don't consider the new Star Wars canon. I think I look at them as what if stories.
yeah. Oh, the worst part, for me at least, in Thor 3, apart from the Valkyrie character, who was complete rubbish for a million reasons, and you can't argue him, the fact that she tied up Loki, I was like, no, 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 no.
I actually agree with that a whole lot because I understand that they want her to be like a real
She's a Valkyrie.
bad
She's like,
attitude character, you know.
she's
I guess
400
the-
levels below them in power-wise.
Yeah. And
What
so
does
I
the Scouter say though?
Definitely not
Scout,
9,000.
he's been hiding his power level this entire time.
If Vegeta is over 9,000, because he is, she'd probably be like, she'd be Yamcha level.
Like, and that scene could have still worked. Like, you could just simply put it like Loki wanted her to go get Thor, so he didn't have to. So he could just, Thor shows up, throws something to check if it's Loki, it goes through him. Oh, great, now she's surprised, she thought she caught him, it was just a big trick, and then he's in the
Yeah.
kitchen eating or something. He's like, oh good, you finally
or at
brought
the
him
very-
back. You know,
Yeah, or just
like, oh,
appears next to, you know.
yeah, see, that's what Loki would do. He would just like trick you to doing something for him.
See, that would have made me more than happy.
Yeah,
But-
I thought about that
Whatever.
myself and went, that's what I would have. Because Loki, I don't think, even in the final fight, he doesn't use any of his powers.
He does nothing.
He's just doing the same thing the Valkyrie's doing. He's just doing the same
Yeah,
thing the other
punch,
aliens
punch.
with swords are doing. Like, how
Yeah.
come there's not like 50 Lokis running around with the illusion, you know, doing some really cool stuff? This was his moment in that
He's
scene
very
to-
strong.
Yeah, to kind of show that off, but I guess maybe in the next movie.
Nah. I mean, he'll do something to look good and then die. Because we know he's dying.
Oh, I'm
in the
sure
next
he
movie.
is. I'm sure most of them are dying in the next movie.
Yeah, all you have to do is look at their contract lengths, and then you know
Yeah,
exactly
I mean
who's dying.
Captain America's definitely dead because this
Oh,
is his
gone.
last movie. So
Well, it's
Straight up
Thor's
dead.
too. They're all done filming with that
Yeah.
actor.
I hate all those YouTube shows where they're sitting there, let's get into insights of who might be dying. Like, go to hell.
Like,
You're just reading off fucking web pages.
they're just
You have
people.
no
man.
inside knowledge.
Just let them have.
Here's
their
the
fun.
reasons why we think he's gonna die. 2 minutes of talking. I'm like, no, contract, done. I just made your shitty clip shorter.
That's not how you get the hits, Con. You gotta.
So,
gotta have
yeah, I finished
clickbait.
watching that movie. I gave it probably... Oh, I can't really give... my rating system's completely different to everyone else. So I'd probably give it like, 7.5.
Con's like
Um,
one tit,
It's...
3
Good.
tits.
Royce was asking me, what movies are worse than this? Whereabouts is it on your Marvel scale? I'm like, oh, that's so hard. I'd have to, put them all in front of me to remember what's actually out
yeah,
there.
there's a lot now.
And then he's like, is it worse than Iron Man 3? Because that's pretty much my worst
Oh, that
one.
movie's
I'm like,
awful.
no.
I hate
Yeah,
that
I
movie.
said, no, it's not. It might be on par with... it's so hard. Probably above Thor 2.
Yeah, I didn't like Thor
It's-
2
it's
that
in-
much.
No. If that had stayed off Earth, it would have been good. But because it was on Earth as well, it was so much bullshit comedy. And then the villain, who is really awesome in the comics, hardly anything
Well,
on
that
him.
movie went through a lot of rewrites too, so it was like a mess plot-wise.
It seems like that's happening a lot.
It really is.
Disney
It's so weird when
movies
you put that
particularly.
much money into a movie. How can you be in that stage where you're needing to rewrite scripts? Like, shouldn't that be the early stages, not the
Yeah.
late stage?
Yep.
Like, rewrite the script during filming. That's not good.
Obviously, I've never made a
Stupid.
movie. I've never been in a studio,
you haven't?
anything like that. Well, not those. But I would think that if I was an executive, someone's like, all right, so we got a movie. We think it's going to be a real blockbuster. I'm like, solid. How much do you need? Like, we need at least $50 million. Like, wow, that's a lot of movie. Okay. You got the script? We kind of got something.
Yeah, right?
Like, sounds great. All right, let's get started.
Jeez.
All right. Like, it might work, it might not. What are you gonna call this movie? Justice League, I think is what we're gonna go with.
Sounds about right.
It's in the air still. We're figuring out
Yeah.
names.
No, I've got a bit on that one too. The best part of fuck, what was it?
You were talking about Thor
Black
2.
Panther, Thor 2.
No, oh yeah, Black Panther. Forgettable. The best part of that movie was Circus, and he was not really
Yeah,
in
he
it
was
that
like a
much.
Joker
but-
character in that. I was like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah, but he had the most
Yeah,
character.
he did. He
That's
had a
that's
lot
the
of
coolest
character.
thing. He's awesome in everything though.
Yeah, he
I love
is a
him.
good guy.
Because it was like the third or fourth week that the movie's been out, and that's generally when I start to go and watch a movie because everyone's, done their whole, oh, we've seen it 7 times in a row because it's the first week. It's like, go to hell. All these people are gone. So it was like 8 people in the entire cinema, which is how it should be. Maybe not for the movie companies, but for me, that's how it should be. And I was sitting there, had my food with me, my hot dog, my drinks. I had a quarter of a slice of cheesecake.
Holy crap, you go all out,
No,
don't
I didn't
you?
purposely. I like to have food with me when I'm eating.
You like to
And
have
there's
food with you while you're eating. Alright.
Hey, me too.
Whoa,
See?
what a coincidence.
People from other countries aren't so different.
Wakanda area was all over the place. I don't want to say anything because Jed's not seen it yet, but it really didn't make sense. His little sister is head of, the Bond creation, physics and gimmicks and stuff. I'm like, no, no. I don't care how smart she is. And let's say there are people that smart. There are before people that smart too, who got older and got smarter. So why is she being, put ahead of?
I found that a little weird too. That she.
I like
'cause
the
she's
character.
She's like flipping like, not even
She
in
was
her
like
20s. It's
16
like,
or
what?
something, 17.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that she's the
Yeah.
head of the place when she's that young.
You could say she was 20 max. I mean, I liked
Yeah.
her. She was fine. She was a
Yeah.
good character, but what she was bullshit.
Yeah,
yeah,
you just gotta keep. It's all make believe. It's just
Yeah,
a fun
it's-
movie. Is
mate.
all it is.
the strange part of Wakanda is, they've got the whole high tech stuff. They're all awesome. Yet in the front, they still have markets and things, and look, sort of people trying to make money, but they're sharing everything. And like, what's the point of having a market if everything's shared? It was confusing.
That's a good point. Yeah.
There was no good music either.
I never really noticed music in Marvel movies to begin with.
And actually, going exactly with what Austin's talking about, I saw a YouTube clip about that very thing. They were talking about how music, particularly in Marvel's movies, aren't used to depict emotion, so they just use the screen. So like, they're like, hey, can you name off the theme to Indiana Jones? Like, oh yeah, and you start humming it, and then Star Wars, and you're like, that's because those themes were the emotion of that movie.
Yeah. Well,
Where
Avengers
was-
has its own.
Yeah, well, like a little bit, but then like you
Yeah.
watch, like
It is a knockoff Lord of the Rings
like-
theme.
Captain America: Winter Soldier. They did kind of parts of that, and they said like, here's what happens when we mute all the audience and we mute the background noise, and you can hear just the music. Like you can hear the composer, he's trying to make a theme there that would sound like a soldier Captain America. It's kind of patriotic sounding, but it's it's like got a hero trumpet sound to it. But then they totally they lower the volume so low and they replace it instead with narration. You hear in the background talking about
Yeah.
Steve Rogers instead, so that we get like the feeling, what we're supposed to feel. He's like, and that it would have worked perfectly fine without, but Marvel movies particularly don't rely on music very much.
See, the only superhero movie that did was probably Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman really used that because that was like a used theme already from this TV show.
Well, yeah, they were rocking that guitar from
Yeah.
Just remix original.
Batman vs Superman. And it's in all the trailers, so
Yeah.
they were so proud of that little thing they did.
They were. It was cool. I liked the tune. My friend hates it. He's like, duh, the drums are starting up again. Duh, duh, duh. I'm like, oh my God. Made me laugh. Yeah, it was a good movie, but shit ending.
I still gotta watch it.
Lift your game.
Ah, yeah, sheesh. All right, calm down.
So,
Yeah.
because you mentioned Justice League, and I watched that the day before.
Oh, you poor person. No wonder you needed something
no.
dessert to.
I sat there thinking about both of them. Justice League is better.
Better than what? Black Panther?
Black Panther.
Ooh.
I
know.
disagree.
The first half of the movie could have been condensed quite a bit because there was a lot of filler. The whole, you know, the fight at the beginning with the Jeeps, that didn't need to be there. The casino scene, I was like, you know what? This was just padded. And in Justice League, you know, in all fairness, the movie didn't need to be done, but it got through. There were a lot of scenes in it that were actually pretty cool. I just love that one scene where evil Superman grabs Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got both her arms because they were wailing, and he headbutts her, and then she headbutts him back, and he gets that look. It's like, oh, and then he rises up, you know, into the air, and then Sonic headbutts her straight into the ground. I was like, that right there.
To be fair, like Wonder Woman is always like the best parts. She's like, because Wonder Woman is such a good movie.
It was a good movie, with a shit villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the topic of other movies, it was weird because I started off the day with Black Panther and Average Cheesecake. We started watching one movie called Veronica. It's on Netflix, some horror thing. You're looking at all these reviews, and they're like, "Oh, it's really good," you know, 8s, 9s everywhere. And all these comments saying I couldn't finish it. It was too scary. It's like, you know what? Why not? And then got about 10 minutes into the movie, and I said, hey. Go back to those reviews and go to the bottom to the actual comments of those reviews. And each one, same as the other. It wasn't that good. It was boring. I turned it off. Why is it getting blah blah? And like, oh, promoted material, and just like on and on. And then I got a flashback. I did mention it to Seska because it's a Spanish movie. And he says, yeah, it's actually not getting very good reviews over here, which is why I completely forgot about it. So that was shit. And then I watched the Full Metal Alchemist movie that is on.
The live action one?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Almighty. I can't imagine how bad that one is.
It wasn't shit. It was stupidly condensed, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
And there was a few things that were obviously different.
Wait, that's on Netflix, you said?
Yeah, Netflix.
Oh.
The movie starts off with a long fight scene, which was, I mean, you can see it's low budget, but still done fine. It drags a bit. And they do a lot of things in it that was a bit not right. The part I loved the most was some of the characters actually act like an anime character, like Winry. She's like totally over the top.
Oh yeah.
Facial expressions, the way she talks, but you get used to it, and it just makes you laugh after a while. Like, she's awesome. She's not blonde, which couldn't figure it out at all because everyone else had wigs, and here she is, normal hair.
Man, what
black.
the frick? That's
I know.
Weird.
Like, she's specifically blonde, and she didn't have her outfit on. She had like this other mutant version. Anyway,
okay.
Little things bug me. There were a lot of things that they didn't do, and God, the ending went forever. It was okay. Nowhere near as good as the Gantz CG film that I watched the day before. That was actually good.
I saw that one.
I was expecting it to be rubbish, because I don't like the TV show at all.
I don't think I finished the movie though. They
No.
got like the final boss or something, and then I kind of like zoned out and didn't finish it.
No! The boss was the best part. He has like 4 forms, so he's like a Dragon Ball villain. And one of the forms is basically just hundreds of nude women formed together to form one giant nude woman.
All right.
It was the greatest end boss I've ever seen. And all the jiggle physics are there on each specific breast. It was glorious.
Wow.
And he was fighting without an erection. I'm like, how are you doing that? You are a superhero. And he just kept going. It was epic. And I love the fact that the CG was really good. And you know it's not a big
Oh yeah,
huge
it
budget.
really is good CG for
It
sure.
was excellent. And I finally saw the trailer for Player One, and I'm thinking, this has a massive budget. This CG is shit.
Yeah, it is bad. Oh my gosh, that movie looks bad.
I'm glad somebody said something. 'Cause I've been playing those trailers on ESPN, which is the only channel they show in the lounge at work. And I'd be looking at like
Ugh.
Steven Spielberg, like, oh, what's this? You know, get my attention. Then I'd see the effects. I'm like, oh, this, what am I watching?
He's
like
done
it's-
way better CG.
It's like it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a gaming thing, but it seems like it's the pretty typical like we're teenagers and they're trying
Well,
to take
to be
something
fair,
we love.
Yeah.
The book is good. I love the book.
I
but
hear praise about it.
There's no way that it could be a good movie. It just can't be. I don't know
The
why
only
they
thing I
tried.
saw that they did is they had the giant robot from
The Iron Giant.
Iron Giant.
I think
Yes,
the
thank you.
trailer,
Like,
it had over 100 cameo things in it.
and like,
Yeah.
Because I was watching it, Royce kept pausing it every 2 seconds. Like, look, there's Ray. Look, there's the Batmobile. Look, there's Deadpool. Look, there's
Yeah.
Harley. I was like, this isn't impressing me at all. It's actually making me want to watch this movie even less. I don't think I'm even gonna watch it unless I hear it's
That's
godly.
the focus of the movie, and that's not the focus in the book. You know?
Yeah.
That's like just a thing. It's like in the book, it's like his mech suit in that world is like a Gundam, which is that's. But then and
Well,
in the
Gundam.
movie, it's like there's a Gundam, and then it's like, and here's all these video game characters and all these movie characters. No, it's like that's
they're
the
making
focus
Wreck-It
of the
Ralph,
movie.
you know, for
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steven Spielberg.
it's silly. I don't want to watch that. But even the story wasn't really grabbing me. It had a good idea, but then it sort of, I don't know. Maybe just a trailer makes it look shit.
It looks awful. No, it straight up looks like one of the worst movies ever. But I love the book. It's a good book.
The lip syncing was the worst part for me. I thought, how can you not
Yeah.
get that right?
Yeah.
It looks like, I think Reboot in the 90s had better lip syncing.
Don't even get me started, Jen. Have you seen the new trailer for the new Reboot series?
I haven't, but my
Oh,
nails are erect.
no.
I want to hear.
No, Jen, no. You gotta see it. Just freaking Google, like, Reboot.
I did see it, but I can't remember a thing.
It's
'cause I
called
think I
Reboot
blocked
the
it from my
Guardian
memory.
Code or something. Watch the trailer for it, and I want your live reaction. Do it right now.
Okay. Reboot the Guardian Code. Okay, found it. Videos. Reboot cast details, premiere date. No, here it is.
Just
Official
do trailer. There you go. Watch.
Alright,
look at
I'm
the
watching
thumbs.
it.
Look at the thumbs down. First of all.
Holy crap!
Oh no.
This is like the Ghostbusters reboot. I haven't even seen the trailer. Oh man, people have been begging for this for years. I'm almost afraid to click it.
Let me look at
First
it, 'cause I
comment.
can't remember.
The first comment. Whoever, whoever is this responsible, I am not angry. I am just disappointed.
Wait up, that was a half-live action fucking Power Ranger wannabe thing,
Yep.
wasn't it?
All right,
Oh, I remember
Okay.
now. That's why I blocked it from my
let me
memory.
watch. Here we go.
I need to erase it again. Scrub.
Feel free to Google it and watch it yourself if you're listening in.
Fuck that shit.
What? Room 0. Oh no. Oh no. Here's the symbol.
Oh.
No. What is that thing? I want to cry. Oh, now she's in the real world. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. And now the CGI looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. There's
Yep.
makeup
Yep.
in that voice. Oh,
Yep.
how sad. And look, they got little cyber choppers. It's like Tron Power Rangers.
Yep. Tron Power Rangers, exactly.
Oh, she's so convincing that she's artificial intelligence. Oh,
Yeah,
I want to cry.
yeah. So if you're not aware, me and Jed are pretty big Reboot fans. Like, I'm obsessed with I got the blue box set. I love that series. I watch it like yearly. It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
I'm planning
So
on
they come
rewatching it
out
because
with
I know
this
I missed some.
freaking new series, and it's like a Nickelodeon-esque, like, teenage kids Power Rangers bullcrap thing. It's just nothing like what Reboot is.
No, it's really not.
It's a mess.
It's almost like it's a joke,
I
and they
know,
haven't
right?
told everybody yet, because there's nothing about this that says this is something the kids like, right? This is something the fans wanted. It's alright, like Powerpuff Girls, right? I'm seeing like a little preview for it over on the right here. Like it got a reboot, but
Yeah.
it's still a cartoon. So like,
Mm.
okay, sure. I haven't seen it personally, but then imagine if they did that and they said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we made it live action?" And then they would fight like in a cartoon world instead. Like, okay, I'm getting
Yeah.
it. And then let's not make them sisters. Let's all make them like friends that hate each other. You know, at the beginning, and then they get their powers. Do it like. Sounds like somebody needs to cut the brakes to your car. Oh, now the thumbs down are all making sense.
Yeah.
Gosh, what are some of these comments? A lot of reboot puns.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh no. I don't even understand why they would go this way. The formula, everything was already laid out before them. It was just pick up where it left. Just pick it up. No.
Yeah. It's
This
it's
is
sad.
this is that situation where the projects get handed to some kind of director who has his own vision for his own show, and he's just taking the reboot name to make it.
Yep.
I hope it gets one
It's
season.
going to be right up there with
Nothing
the new Gem movie.
That Gem movie. Oh my gosh, that was such a
Stupid
freaking-
director. Duh, please watch it before you say anything bad. No.
But that's not as fun.
He's so full of shit. I hope he never gets another job ever again.
Man,
I know it sounds harsh, but why screw with Gem that badly?
why even
And
have
try
a
to make
gym
it out like it's
anyway?
our fault.
Was there ever that much demand? Were they just opening
Gem
the...
was massively popular in the 80s.
Yeah, but that was the 80s. The people that grew up with that, they're in their 40s, late 30s
These-
by now. Like, I even grew up
That's
in the
exact-
80s, and I don't, like, give me Tiny Toons,
No.
not Jim.
go down. You go down that slippery slope, and you're basically going to why the reboot is how it is.
I guess that's true. It's like, just do it for the sake of trying to find a new audience to sell merchandise to.
Yeah. If it works the first time, don't change it. Improve on it.
Austin, I was having a pretty decent day. Thanks for showing me that. Now I gotta go hit Catherine, and she's not gonna know why.
You're just gonna have fever dreams for the next
Like,
week.
I wake up in a mad sweat. Honey, what's wrong? I dreamed Reboot was going to
Punch!
Power Rangers in high school. Oh.
Oh, you mean this? Pulls out her phone, starts playing the trailer.
Like, so I'm sitting in the car. I got a garden hose hooked up to my exhaust pipe running in through the window.
Let it in.
It's like, why? Both of us can't live on this world. That trailer's got to go or I do.
Yeah, it's not gonna do well. It's gonna bomb.
I
Good
hope
riddance.
so.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? No lesson will ever be learnt from this.
No, they never are.
No. They'll do it again and again. And
Why
again.
Reboot? Why did Reboot? Who owns that right and sold
Well,
that? That's the
get-
person that
get
needs
this,
to have
though.
their legs broken.
I'm pretty sure the dude that's behind it is like an original guy from like the original series. Like, I went to the website and he's like defending himself, saying, "No, I don't remember exactly what he said. He's like, this is what I wanted. This is what I imagined for my child, or some crap like that." And it's like,
Bullshit.
shut up.
Like, no, you're only saying that because you signed a huge deal and you don't want to tick off
Yeah.
very
Yep.
powerful people. So you're like, yeah, this is great. Years and years and years from now, when you ain't scared of them no more, you'll write a little book. And goes like, this is how they ruined my life.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, no different to, Lucas with his changings. This is how I imagined it before.
Yeah.
No, you didn't, or you would have done that.
Yep.
I just hate hearing stuff like that.
Mhm. Don't, if you're gonna have to lie, just say we're trying something new. Don't think of us as idiots.
Yeah.
I'm so sad. Well, guys, it's gonna be
About wrapping it up here too. It's been an hour or so, so it's about time.
so indeed. Well, we
Mhm.
covered PC problems, reboot problems, Khan's personal problems. I think we got a pretty decent podcast rolled out. So now everyone's up to date on what's happening in our lives.
Yep. Everything in the future is. Well, my contract ends next month, so we'll see if I'm still working after that. That'll be interesting.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to be.
This,
don't know
Yeah,
yet?
aren't they
still
trying to
unsure.
find you new positions and stuff?
I mean, that's what will happen if they don't get to keep me.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be funny. There's just a lot of things I'd like to say, but I can't because I don't want it recorded online
Well, yeah.
because work. But it really
Yeah.
infuriates me. Just
Stay
certain things.
professional, Just
Yeah,
stay
you see some
professional.
people who've been working there for so long, and then you find out exactly what they do and how much extra they get paid, and you think, I do about 4 times more than that, get paid less, but I'm the one who's got a contract that might not get renewed because of reasons, and why are these people lucky for many years? And you just, parts of you starts to rage, and you have to hold back, and that's basically me for the last couple months. I've been holding back so much.
Just
All right.
don't.
What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, don't let it build up until you turn into
Oh, yeah,
like an
yeah,
uncontrollable maniac.
Don't go on a rampage at your workplace.
No, I don't go into Hulk mode.
Anybody got the Patreon list up? We didn't do that ahead of time, did we?
No, I don't.
You can
I
bring
sure
it
don't.
up.
All right, Con, go for it.
Me?
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
bring it up. Alright, let's see if I
Yeah.
can do this. Just out of curiosity, you're not using audio while you're playing Stream Game, right?
No.
Alright,
no,
cool.
it's
Just in
muted.
case. My head's just been thinking, in case the recording breaks, I've got a backup somewhere.
Yeah, I've got the recording still.
What am I doing? I have Patreon.
When I get my new PC, I'll just bookmark that part of the page, so I don't have to go look for it all the time.
Why do I have to log in? Whatevs. Alright, where's the list? How do I work internet? Patrons.
Oh, he's doing that. Con or Austin,
Holy
did you hear
crap.
that Fortnite got that new 20 versus 20 versus
Yeah, what is it
20?
exactly?
Basically, 100 people are split into teams of 20. So you got 5 separate teams of 20.
That's
And then
weird.
they go all across the map.
That is a weird mode.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then in the meantime, PUBG broke their game with their update. Hardly anybody can play it anymore because they implemented new anti-cheat systems, and it's just garbage. Half the people can't even start the game, and those that can start it, the game drops frames bad. You're just lagging.
It was
like
already
crazy.
dropping bad.
Yeah. It's back to how it ran in the freaking early access mode.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's really bad. And they're like, no, we're not going to revert the patch. We're just going to keep fixing it. It's ugh. Dino, Dino, he can't even play the flipping game. Doesn't even run
Really?
for him. Won't even start up for him.
How do you do that? How? Do they not beta test the updates?
I know. And the thing is, they have a freaking specific test server that you can download and play. They didn't test that in the test servers?
Probably on one computer.
That don't make
What
any
the
sense.
frick?
It's working on mine. Send it to the world.
Yeah. Let's not test it at all at the test servers, you know? The test servers.
They probably
no.
maybe when they test things, they set it into like some kind of, like an auto benchmark kind of testing thing, and if it works fine, off it goes.
Yeah, who knows what they do over there.
They're magic.
All I know is they don't have enough money, apparently, so, It's like the third best-selling game on Steam of all time. And they're doing this kind of bullshit.
They're doing some bad management if
Yeah.
they don't have money after the success of that game. Like, Microsoft just had an advertise on it, like, just specifically for that game.
Yeah.
Well, he probably bought himself a sports car, so now he's got no money.
Like, I hear rumor Microsoft's looking to buy that franchise just because they want a killer
Yeah, I heard that too.
exclusive.
Yep.
I guess they figure, hey, if we break it enough, then they'll eventually like, fine, just let us buy it so we can fix it and make it on our system.
Xbox. Xbox. Exclusive.
It's just... Anyway, I was gonna say, Austin, that I still have Fortnite installed on this machine. So if you ever want to try the 2020 mode,
Alright.
When's that jetpack update coming?
what's the? Oh,
I heard
the
they
jetpack.
pushed that back
Well,
for some reason or
guess I'll be
another.
waiting before I try it out then.
What even is the jetpack mode? Like, what does that entail?
It's probably just like a weapon. You find it and then you can.
Well, that'd be cool.
Jetpack around.
I
That's
thought it would be
cool.
on you permanently.
It could be.
It better be, otherwise I'm not
without
playing
the
it.
details, who knows?
If everybody has a jetpack, that'd be crazy.
I was trying to shoot somebody just paragliding, and that was hard enough.
It'd be no different to the Battlefield 1 before they broke it and created 2.
Battlefront, you mean?
Front. Sorry.
Like Battlefield 1 had jetpacks? That's not very
World War
accurate.
One. Jetpacks.
It's an unlockable loot box.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
click.
man, is there anything those Germans couldn't do?
They did fucking crazy stuff that we don't even know about. They were
Alright,
like-
did you get your list?
Yeah, I
Colin?
got it. So I split it in half, the paid and the declined, in case people don't know they've been declined, but we'll know because I started with the
We
declined
They have
actually.
been verbally shamed.
We all
Not
do
not
know.
verbally shame, but more as in maybe they just put
Yeah,
the,
you probably
things
shouldn't
in
read
wrong.
the declined ones off.
Well, I see a few there that are there every time, so I'm thinking maybe they don't realize the what they put in is broken or something.
Huh. Yeah, maybe.
So I figure I
Alright,
should
well,
probably.
that's up to you.
Well, these are the ones who either are broken and don't know about it, or are broken and do know about it. But anyway, let's see. Rebecca Applegren Kane, Ethan Soto, Steak Debate, Brandon Justice, George Vitku, and Loop P12121. They're the decline ones. But because I see their names often, I'm thinking could be broken. That's the only reason I'm mentioning it.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, maybe.
Yeah. Alright, so here's the ones that aren't broken, typically, because it worked. Colin and Maggie, been around for ages. We love you. Massive.
Yeah, they have.
Matthew Keith, we love you too.
He's been around from the beginning, too.
Yep. Classic Keith.
Classic Keith.
Michael Johnson. Again, all these names are all the same. We love fucking all of you. Christopher Seamus, Alex Klevgard, Suko Tashi, Simon Dignabold, Samantha Lawley, Remick Zero. I just like to say that that's a good name, Remick Zero. I really like that name.
Okay.
We'll just move on now.
Remick, you got his approval.
Every time I see it, I'm thinking it's a good video game name for a character.
Yeah.
Nicholas Bird, Powder Keg, Giovanni Villagran, Joshua Gomez, Chris Walker. We have a stupid amount of thanks for. He helped Jed with most of those parts.
Oh yeah, right. That
Legend.
is-
Yeah.
Legend.
I'm
Legend.
in love.
Legend, just like his namesake. Christopher Mui, Jeffrey Pearl,
Muy macho.
Chris Townsend, Miguel Linney, Israel Soto Diaz, Squeaky Cheese Curd. I never felt like.
All right.
It's all in capitals, so my brain stopped for a second. I was going to pronounce it completely different till I realized there are actually words in there. We love you too. Zachary Morehouse, Chris Floyd, Mark Johnston, Alexander
Johnston.
Thomason. I had to fix that because I don't want you thinking you're related to him because you're not that special, because he is. And you're Johnson, not Johnston. So we just move that out of the way, okay? He's special, you're not. Thank you. John DeWitt, Kevin Haynes, Leroy, being awesome as always, Fulp Parker, Jesse Frank Singh, Cyber, also awesome, Wake Maker, classic, Matthew Groves, and Adrian Klug. Again, awesomeness all around.
Thank you, everyone,
Thank
who are
you.
patrons. That is very generous of you.
More than generous.
Thank you very much.
We love
Beyond
you so much.
awesome.
And
Next,
if you are new and you're not a patron and you're wanting to be one or curious, you can check our Patreon at patreon.com/last week's special.
Mm.
Links will be in description. Right?
right, yes, that'll be fixed for sure. We try.
That was a sturdy little question.
I don't even know if you put links in the description. I just do it.
Links appear,
Right.
and then I remember and put more. That's pretty much how it goes. Yeah, so we're going to upload a few more extra small home videos from Jed and myself. Austin doesn't want to because he's a spoil sport.
I just don't know what to do, man.
You
Give
can
me
s-
You should get your
Suggestions.
computer broken like me. You
Yeah,
have all kinds
okay.
of videos.
you could
That's what mine's going to be.
sing to Dragon Ball music or dance to
What?
it.
Yeah. No.
In costume.
Gosh,
Don't you have like a Vegeta outfit?
no.
Why not?
I don't know.
I
Change
think
that.
a new Patreon goal has just come
Yep.
up.
Get Austin a Vegeta outfit so he can wear it for streams.
Yeah.
Every
I
stream.
bet I could get a Bulma outfit for
Every
you.
time he gets angry, he'll just take off the Vegeta wig and replace it with like the golden one. He's powered up. This game sucks. Change wig. Uninstalling. Wig off. I don't know. I'd watch that. I think that'd be
Yeah. Look at what you've been
100%.
missing this whole time.
Oh, here. Leroy says you should make cooking videos. That sounds good.
I don't cook at all.
There's
I
another
eat
reason.
like beef jerky. That's like my meals. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna eat some jerky with cheese. Here's my dinner: jerky and cheese.
Jerky and cheese.
You like to jerk that cheese.
Oh, we didn't do any question time.
That's too late for that, bro.
Yeah, we're already looking about 15 after 3.
Yeah. Send in your questions. We'll do it next time.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening and tuning in and all that good stuff. Hopefully, Jed will be up and running by next week, and we can stream some games. So,
He probably won't have his new system up, but at the very least, we'll be able to play the old stuff with his old computer.
Pray for me.
Yeah, next week will be Vermintide 2 and Wildlands if it works.
well, I mean, there's also the Rainbow Six special modes.
Yeah, I want to
Available as
see
well.
that. Did you try it out yet?
Yeah, I played it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll all do that too. If we can. Whatever wants to work for us.
All right, well, again, thanks for watching, and I guess yeah, I'm Austin. That's Jed and Con,
We love you all.
Some of you.
and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.